Hello, welcome to DK and the Hawk on a Friday night flyby special. This is where we just kind of free flow what we're going to talk about. We have nothing to follow. We have no structures. We've got some beers. The draft's going on, but we are going to get to it right away. We're going to talk about the guy who stole the show yesterday, the guy who wants everybody to look at him, the only quarterback in the history of the NFL who will go 15-1 in the regular season and never win a playoff game, Aaron Rodgers, wanting out of Green Bay yesterday. I don't know where this came from. Don't know who dropped it. It's all over. To you, DK, we'll let you start this one. What do you think?
Well, personally, I think this was perfectly planned by Rodgers, thinking that he could get Green Bay to kind of panic and make that deal. The deal reported was for the third overall pick with some other picks and possibly Eric Armstead, D Ford, somebody like that. I don't have the exact players in mind, but I think Rodgers wanted to go to San Francisco, saw the option to drop it like 4 or 5 hours before the draft starts. See if Green Bay would panic and make that deal. I think it would have been a good deal, honestly, for Green Bay to do that. But the cap penalties and making a deal that rash and fast, you don't honestly see it too often. So I I don't see Rodgers leaving. To be honest, I think it was just more timing in Rogers' agent and Rogers himself. Basically, he wants out. He doesn't like the structure there, how they drafted the QB, how they're not getting them weapons, and it's just kind of whiny in my opinion. I think he should just sit there, play quarterback, be the MVP. What do you think about how Rogers and what his ulterior motive is for this?
Well, well, look at it this way, right? There's two quarterbacks this offseason that went and decided to speak about how their teams have kind of lacked on stuff, right? You had Russell Wilson with the Seahawks saying he's not being hit, and you had Aaron Rodgers who was mad last year because they drafted and kind of started looking at, right, what did Seattle do? Seattle got some offensive linemen, got him another wide receiver in tonight's draft, and then Green Bay goes drafts a corner, which they do need, right? I mean, they did for the last few years. So I think on his part, I think he wants, if they're, last year was a slap to the face of Rodgers. I mean, it's such a deep pool of wide receivers. You trade up for a quarterback. How would that make you feel, right? Kind of pretty crappy. So, he's looking at it this way. I want out. Get me out of here. Give me somewhere that's got a bunch of weapons where an organization will actually treat me right, and let's get playing football. Is he going anywhere? Probably not till June 1st or May 1st or whenever the cap hit will be less. But I'll tell you something, the NFC North got shook up last night. And it got shook up hard by Fields going to Chicago. And if I'm Green Bay right now, I'm scared. I'm honestly scared. I don't know if I'm going to have a quarterback to play here. We're going to see what happens. But on the
Well,
other part too, as
it's
you said,
just
right, the game.
it's it's tough in the way the NFL contracts are. Like you can't trade like these high priced players. Like you don't see it happen. Um, like that's why in situations like when with Peyton Manning, like they waited until he was cut and then he kind of picked his next destination. I think this would almost have to be kind of something like that. Green Bay won't cut Rodgers. Rodgers, this is going to be a messy, messy divorce. Like Rodgers wouldn't restructure his contract. He wouldn't help the team. He was pissed off about Jordan Love. He's pissed off that they kicked a field goal in the fourth quarter in the playoff game. Now, drafting Eric Stokes is a good draft pick because you the reason they lost to the Buccaneers wasn't Aaron Rodgers or not having weapons. It was because they couldn't stop Tampa. That play at the end of the game, at the end of the second quarter, when the slot receiver, can't remember his name, on Tampa Bay, just like he went right past the DB. Brady
Is that
just
Miller?
sailed it to him, touchdown. Um, so
I think that
the
was Miller,
pick,
wasn't it?
I got no problem with the pick with Green Bay. Um, they gotta settle this. You gotta like Rodgers, like going back to your previous statement about Wilson and Rodgers. These guys are franchise quarterbacks, and they've earned the right to stand up and say like shit has to change. Like we have to in Wilson's state. Look at the division, the pass rushers, the defensive players. He needs O line. He needs pass protection. He said, "You better get it for me, or I'm going to go play for Chicago." That was just flexing. Same thing Rogers doing. I don't think Rogers leaves. I think they figure it out. They probably extend him, and he retires a Packer. That's the way it should be.
No, I agree. I think he should retire Packer. But I mean, you look at other quarterbacks that played for Green Bay. It, you know, it's something that we could see him in another uniform. I mean, come as
Yeah.
early maybe this year, right? I mean, if he wants out and you have an opportunity to trade him to get a bunch of stuff, picks, prospects, players to make sure your franchise keeps going the right direction, maybe you got to dump him. You know,
Well, right now the rumors are Raiders and Broncos.
yeah.
If I'm Rogers, Broncos all the way. Their defense is getting better. They just drafted Patrick Surtain. The receivers that they are building on that team are going to be great players. Jerry Judy, Kevin Hamler,
Yep.
Cortland Sutton coming back. You got Noah Fant as a tight end. Like you put Rogers in there, they are that the two best teams in the AFC are the Chiefs and the Broncos going for that division. It'll be interesting to see if that could play out. I think Denver would have to give a haul, probably have to include like a Bradley Chubb or 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 a secondary player, multiple first round picks, and I think it would almost be worth it to
Oh, it
uh
would be.
to try to get that. Like imagine going from John Elway, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, not all in that order, obviously, but like when I heard it was Raiders or Broncos, like I don't know where that came from, but Denver just started making so much sense to me for Rodgers.
Now the
Love to see
question
it.
now the question becomes May 12th when the schedule's released. Let's hope we have maybe a Broncos Chiefs on a Sunday night or a Chiefs Raiders on a Sunday night or a Thursday night. You know, let's
Yeah,
keep it open, right? That's why you want to go division games on those nights. You don't want crappy
exactly.
tennis
Super
versus,
excited about the schedule
you
release.
know, the Bengals. Like, come on, man. We want stuff that has
I,
potential.
I'm hoping. Okay, we talked about potential schedule release. Okay, you gotta do Saints at Bucks Thursday night. Has it's perfect. Jameis Winston starting for the New Orleans Saints, going to Tampa where he was drafted first overall. You got the Super Bowl champs raising that stupid banner right next to the pirate ship. It's just perfect. Jameis is gonna eat some W's. Like that's the dumbest thing ever. But I told everybody that if he can win, I'll do the eating W's thing on the DK and the Hawk show.
There we
We'll
go.
be
Eating
eating some
W's, man.
W's.
Eating W's.
You heard it
It
here
does make
first.
sense.
That's literally like the dumbest thing I've ever seen when he was eating W's. Even his teammates were like, "What are you doing?"
Hey, but you know what? Yeah,
Like
but
what? The,
and hey, might
oh man, I
be the
love it.
new internet. It's gonna be the new internet, right? So,
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, come
for sure.
schedules being released here, and we're going to be some leaks coming here next week. Who's playing who the Bucks will be playing on that Thursday night. We always love that first Thursday night
Yeah.
game, watching the banner get risen. I know me, you, a few of
Yep.
us have seen it in the century, which is great. Cowboy
Yep.
fans, not so much. They don't know what they're missing. So, you know, it's
Cowboys.
gonna
I don't know.
it's gonna be interesting.
Cowboys maybe be Sunday night. Sunday night, Dallas and New York. We'll get stuck with some BS NFC East game to end our weekend off,
Yeah.
and it'll be exciting. Dak Prescott versus Daniel Jones, or Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts.
And
Um, go watch Devontae Smith torch the Cowboys for a night when they pretty much handed him to the Eagles. That weird trade, but yeah, I'm super pumped for the now. Like the draft is kind of in the rear view mirror. Like we still got rounds 4 to 7 tomorrow, but now that the draft is kind of over, we can start looking at matchups and who's going to be good, who's gonna struggle, and yeah, so we could kind of talk about that too.
Bucks
Have
play
we
right
lost you?
home and away.
Oh, there you are.
Two
Your
interesting
your
matches, I
screen's
think, that
frozen
would
right
make.
now, my friend. We
Good
have
to go now.
well, your screen's still frozen.
Hold on, I'm red.
I don't know if you want to refresh, and I can kind of just continue here while we wait for you to come back.
Can you, can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. We just your screen was kind of frozen. Here, why don't we just shut off the video until you figure it all out. I think it's kind of working now. All right.
Hold on,
So,
let me see now. Is that better?
well, you're still wearing that jersey, so I don't know if it's better.
Am I moving?
A little bit. We got Northern Alberta Wi-Fi, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Come on, Starling. We can get this thing going.
Here you go. Yeah,
But
we're
you
good
know what?
now.
I'll,
Just
I'll
kind of
say
like doing
one
a
thing though
robot.
right now. The two teams I would see Thursday night to start off is New Orleans, but usually New Orleans is the Monday night game on week one.
Yeah.
Or B, they got the Dallas Cowboys.
Does Tampa play the
Why not
Cowboys this
Thursday
year?
night? Yeah, they play
Sure.
the NFC East. Why not Dallas, Tampa?
Just
Keep this
cheer for
for the
nobody
Monday
in that
nighter.
game. I'll just have a bunch of beers. Like
Right. What we like to do.
Tampa's my new rival, right? Like there's always one team in the South that we're competing with. It was Atlanta forever, and then it was Carolina for a little bit. Now it's Tampa. So we'll see how that goes.
Or here's another one. This is the one I actually, you know what? Now I'm looking at this is the one I want to see. Buccaneers, Bills, Thursday night, opening night. Huh?
Well, if you want to go crazy storylines, like, well, I think Tampa needs that home game because I think doesn't Tampa go to New England this year? You got to
Yes, they
put that
do.
on a prime time. You got to have Brady
That's
and
a Sunday night.
back
I
in
guarantee that's a
Foxborough.
Sunday nighter right off the hop.
It's got to be.
You know,
It's got to be. I hope it's like late in the season too. Like both teams are doing well, and it's an
it's
important
snowing, it's
game.
blizzard. We can't see the numbers on the field. Can't see the numbers on the back.
Oh hell yeah,
That
nothing's
kind of
better. We
football.
didn't see any snow games last year.
No, not really.
I like seeing those
Last
Buffalo whiteouts where the linemen are shoveling the snow with their feet so the kicker can get his feet in the ground. Beautiful stuff.
well, it's
So
great, man. Watching a snowblower take down a line so that some guy can go kick it back when the Jets were playing. Doesn't get any better than that.
so I did a pod today with Jason Wright, our good friend, and so we're not going to talk too much draft because don't want the entire channel to be crazy on the
Yeah.
draft. But
We got other
what
sports.
what was your thinking of the draft? Any crazy surprises or anything interesting? I know you didn't have a
Well,
pick till round 2, but
Trey Lance going 3. That was a shocker. Mac
which
Jones
I
going 15.
predicted in my mock.
Yep.
No one wanted to believe me,
Mac,
so
DK
I'm
did.
taking credit for
DK,
that one. DK
I
picked
haven't fallen much for
Trey.
but
He's
and
been
then
my
Mac
third
going 15.
quarterback for a while now.
Yep. Matt going 15, Fields, the Bears doing something they should have done a few years ago, and they traded for a quarterback. I mean, I don't know who this Bears team is right now, but it ain't the Bears. It's like a Bears from another portal coming in. They're saying, you know what? Maybe now that, and maybe this is almost to the point where they went, ooh, Rodgers is leaving Green Bay. Time for us to start winning some football. You know, Detroit. I mean, picking that Sewell there. I mean, everyone.
Yeah, Sewell.
They figure he's going to be a Hall of Famer lineman, which is going to be great.
Yep.
I mean, you need some guy protecting you. I mean, Detroit could be there, Minnesota. So those are some surprises. What else? Yeah, the biggest surprise. One of the biggest surprises was the Eagles and the Cowboys making a trade. I mean, you look at hockey, right?
Shocking.
Calgary, Edmonton for almost 30 years never made a trade until they traded.
We made like one trade. It was weird. I remember when we traded like Steve Stales to them.
Never traded. Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening?
Like, you know, like, so Dallas.
We're not even supposed to like
associate with each other, and then they made a trade.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dallas.
Oh my
God. But Dallas, Philly making a trade. The two teams that hate each other the most that there is, and they made a trade for Philly to jump up. Wow.
Well, let me
when I heard that,
let me talk about that trade actually, because it's very interesting. Now, Dallas wanted Micah Parsons. They were going to take him at 10. That's what they said. And you look at the teams behind them. You got the Giants. Then you got the Eagles. The Eagles were all in on Devontae Smith, but they were worried that the Giants were going to take him. So for the Eagles to even suggest to let's call Dallas to see if we can trade up. I'm like, what? Like how do you even make that call? And like I wouldn't even think that he would answer. Like did Dallas call Philly and say, hey, do you want to trade up? Because I'm thinking it had to be the other way around. Jerry Jones and the Eagles are calling me. I'm like, okay, you want to give us a third round pick and we're still going to get our guy.
There's options on these, right? You can actually block teams on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta block them.
You don't have Philly blocked on your phone. There's something wrong with that, my friend. That was nuts. That was the most. I think that decreased the whole draft.
This trade will go down as a huge moment in NFL history because if you look at it, Philly trades up to get ahead of the Giants. The Giants don't get the guy they want now, so they trade down Chicago. Chicago gets Justin Fields. Justin Fields is probably a New England Patriot without this trade. This is just my thinking. A lot of people are saying that they still like Mac Jones, but that's probably what they're going to say. They're not going to say, well, all the guys are gone, so we're stuck with this guy. I honestly think that Justin Fields could have been a Patriot, and that's probably even a better fit for him because I don't know how the Bears are going to do. They got an okay defense. They got some skill position. He might come in there, and they might be a good team, but I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about the fit of Justin Fields with the Bears? Because I think he's a day one starter. I don't think the Andy Dalton era is over. It ain't happening.
You know, the Red Rifle, the Red Rocket, the Red Bomb.
Like,
is going to be
the worst
flying with
ever.
Chicago Bears. But
you
know what? I mean, Fields will have to learn. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know. The Red. I like Dalton, right? I mean, the guy's a solid player. I mean, you look at it last year when he took that shot last year from Washington. No Dallas Cowboys stood up for him. Dallas, you got a bunch of badasses on your team. Guys who've gone to jail for. Jerry Jones loves that. Right? Oh, you have a character issue? Come on down to the Cowboys. Not one of
Yep.
them stood up for Dalton, which tells me that's how much of a classless organization that organization is. He was
I'd be
on any
running
other
across the
team.
field.
I saw Russell Wilson take a minor poke, and DK Metcalf was going to blow up. Like,
Yeah.
give me a break,
TK Metcalf.
gals.
He'll mess you up.
I mean, that guy's big,
Yep. I wouldn't mess
fast.
with DK Metcalf, but I totally agree with what you're saying. Like they just proved like he's not our quarterback. He's a backup. We're here filling time this year till next year when Dak comes back. That's all that told me. Like they were in a
Yep.
playoff race. Like your quarterback gets hit like that, you better be like ripping off helmets and getting fined and
Yep.
suspended for stuff you do.
I mean, for the love of God, go to the Miles Garrett school of thought of how to punch a
I was
quarterback in
just
the head.
I was just thinking about him too. That was a crazy night.
You know, I
Just
mean,
ripped off his
it's
helmet,
wild.
started beating him with it.
But back to the
All right,
question, I don't know if Fields will start right up the hop. I think the Red Rifle will, but I mean, the Bears are looking good.
the red rifle.
But,
Okay.
hey,
Well, I'll tell you right
I mean,
now.
the guy played for the Bengals for 20 years.
You know who's going to be jumping up and down on the streets if Andy Dalton starts is the New York Giants, because that first round pick's going to be glorious. Andy Dalton as the starting
Oh yeah,
quarterback. Like they're praying, they're like, "Oh, red shirt year."
I'm
Man,
thinking that they're going to be wearing a shirt that
that'll be
says
good.
Red Rifle. But
We want Dalton. All seriousness, no. I love I love the move by the Bears. Like it's gutsy
yeah,
to do it again because they didn't trade that much to move up for Trubisky. They only moved up to one spot, but especially if you look back and you look at the two guys, like sure, Deshaun Watson's in a lot of trouble now, but you look at those two guys that went after Trubisky, like I'm surprised that Chicago management team's still working there after all that.
well, this
But
is their last year. This is their last year. This is the Giants' last year for sure, right? Those two teams had to make something, had to do something,
I don't
and
know,
we'll
man.
see what happens,
Here's
right?
yeah, okay. Um, the Saints kind of pissed me off last night, so we I say we because I'm a Saints fan. We had like a couple needs, receiver and corner. We made up for it today, so I was really happy with our second round and third round selections. Paulson Adebo will be starting opposite Lattimore, and the linebacker we picked up from Ohio State. We're very happy with him too. But Peyton Turner off the board here. This is a late second round talent in the first round. If you're going to take this guy, you trade down. Um, he's got some upside. Played in a small school in Houston, so we'll see how it plays out. But totally like for all the excitement in the draft yesterday, that was just such a letdown at the end of the night having them pick
Well, I
him.
know. I was watching, going,
So
who? But
who's
as
that
a
guy?
Seahawks fan, you're used to that. You're like,
I did
what? Okay,
I had to Google him. I had to Google him. I did draft study on top three rounds. Didn't know who this guy was. I'm like, it happened again.
wow.
Same thing happened last year with Caesar, with Ruiz. I'm like, why are we taking him? We don't
Yep.
need a center. It worked out because we had some injuries and we had to let go Larry Warford. So Ruiz is a good pick now. So we'll see.
Yep.
Maybe something goes down with Cameron Jordan and we're going to need this guy in the future. But for right now, I would have much rather had Santi Samuel or a wide receiver in that spot. But all good.
Well, and you got to
We'll
build
see.
depth.
We'll see
You
what
got to
he can
build
do.
depth.
Yep.
But give me a
And
second.
we lost
I'll be
some
right
pass
back.
rushers.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So we're on a commercial break now, everybody. Um, the Hawk, Ezra Hawk, JC is has left us, so we're here talking to ourselves now. Um, I like the trade up for New Orleans today to trade 98 and 105 to move up to 76. Get Paulson Adebo, the starting cornerback. He'll slide right in, be a starter on Saints defense. Looking forward to that. Um, some wild quarterback trades today. Not trades, quarterback drafts in the round 2 and 3. Kyle Trask goes to Tampa Bay. Kellen Mond to the Vikings. Some interesting moves. I think I hear my co-host in the background there, so probably be coming back here in a few minutes. Oh, so he just had to go for a beer run.
That's right.
He's not prepared like me.
Well, I did, but I also had to go outside for a little bit of watering of the greens, if you know what I mean.
Okay, you don't have the urinal hooked up in your
No,
garage
not
yet, eh?
yet. The man, and this
No,
is
well,
there will be a virtual and a video of the man garage when it's all said and done. Just getting things worked on, lots of projects. It's all good. Anyways, we're
okay.
gonna wrap off. I think the NFL draft, and I know we still have some more rounds. We're gonna be talking NFL nonstop here. Might be doing one or two, maybe 2 shows a week for a bit for when football starts to hit. Loving the 17 game schedule. You know, we'll follow more on the old where Watson's going if we don't know what's going to happen. And let's see what the Pats do with Mac Jones in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But as we go on to it, let's talk a little bit of baseball here before we roll into hockey. Blue Jays put a pounding on the Braves tonight, 12-5. Springer's back. Teoscar Hernandez is
He is
back.
back now.
Yep.
That's good. I'm looking forward to seeing Springer.
Guerrero smacking the cover off the ball. Bichette's coming around. Their pitching is actually doing well. Bullpen, one of the best in leagues. This is a team that will make the playoffs. Up here in Canada, we're going to enjoy this.
I picked them to win the division, like in preseason.
Yes, you
I
did.
like their roster. I thought, and some people might think that's a homer pick. Like I looked at the rosters in the AL East. A big surprise is the Red Sox. To be honest, I had them like fourth in the division.
I had them for
I had the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Rays ahead of them. And then we could talk about Baltimore some other day when somebody might care about them.
When
And that
Bill's
was
on,
with
he
George
loves
Springer. Yeah, that's okay. Bill, we love you. You know we love you.
Oh, yeah.
But that was with Springer healthy. So I kind of thought like when the oblique was bugging him, and then it was 2 weeks, and then it was a month, and then it was 2 weeks. And so now it's been like I think 6 weeks. So hopefully he's getting in there and he can be the superstar that Toronto paid him to be. Looking forward to watching them go for that crown. Nothing was more fun as a Canadian in the 15 and 16 years. Watching them in the playoffs, watching Joey Bats throw the bat, and in the bars, just like full capacity in the middle of the day. Like nobody's going to work. You're like 2 o'clock. We got a 2 o'clock playoff game. Like we're out of here. Remember letting all my guys leave so we could go watch baseball. Like I never thought this would ever happen. 2:30 start, right?
And the
We gotta
best
get
part
there.
is, and the best part with baseball is in Canada, especially when baseball, hockey, it doesn't matter, right? You got a Canadian representing some team, some club, some sport. This country will shut down for it. You look at 2010 when they won the gold medal in Vancouver. You look at Joey Bats when he smacked that home run and did the bat flip. There was, you walk down wherever you walk to work, people are watching the game on their computers. They had it on the radios. They had it on their phones. This country supports their Canadian teams, And if you haven't been to Seattle to watch the Jays walk into Seattle against the Mariners, it is phenomenal. I mean, I went there on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with my dad. All the Mariner fans were working. All the Blue Jay fans, 40, 50, 60,000 of them, drinking beers in the bars. Like, it was
Yeah,
nuts.
definitely
I mean,
bucket list
I
for
can't.
me.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I guarantee you, if Seattle's like, we won't make that mistake again, having the Blue Jays do a weekday series in August. Why not? We're all
Yeah,
coming down,
I'd love
and
it
even the
if
American
they ever did
players
a
should.
September. They did a September a road trip, so we could mix in a Seahawk
And I
game.
think,
That'd be one hell of a weekend, man.
it would be a blast. I mean, it's something that,
Yeah,
like, I mean, even talking to some, like, the American players there who were walking off, I mean, saying the Canadians were sitting there singing the Canadian anthem as they're coming out of the bullpen. They stopped and put their hats down and said, this
uh,
is like a home game to us.
Canada.
We go to Seattle.
I
And these
love
young players, now you look at it,
it.
right? These young players know it this year, what it's like, because their borders are still closed. But I guarantee you next year, they're going to Seattle. Man, I'll tell you what, I want my seats. I might even go down there next year to go watch a couple games. Those players will not know what hit them. Toronto's great.
Yep.
Love the atmosphere. Got to go to Seattle.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't been to a major league game yet. Definitely got to do that. Um, hopefully mix it in on a football trip as well. So if we could ever do a September Seahawk trip in the Jays or visiting the Mariners that weekend, it would just be perfect. So
Oh yeah, it's great times, man. But other than that, I'll say one thing too. Baseball this year, baseball viewership is up. A lot of people watching at home, watching on MLB.TV. Kudos to all you guys. You've done a great job. And I mean, the one series we've all waited for, San Diego, Los Angeles Dodgers, has not disappointed. I mean, there is,
yeah,
I don't even know
I
how to
haven't
explain.
sat and watched one yet, but I've seen the highlights and I've seen all the animosity. And I gotta say, I loved what Trevor Bauer said. He's like, I loved it when uh, I think it was Tatis Jr. that
And when he fly
kind
over
of
his hand,
did the celebration. Yeah,
and he went like
like
this.
this, like. Woo. And then I was reading the story of like he pitched with one hand over his eye. Like what a dickhead! I love it. That's how it starts, man. It's kind of like when that whole Kachuk thing happened with the Oilers. Like it just brought intrigue to those games again, where you bring outside fans. Like, oh man, I want to see what they do. Like nothing better than a go baseball brawl. You throw at me, I'm gonna throw back at you. Okay, then we're
Oh,
gonna fight. Like
I mean,
it's awesome.
Bauer said, you don't throw at a guy like that. And then all of a sudden the internet says, Tatis looked down, looked back up, hits a home run off Bauer. So Bauer tweets, he's like, hey, if you want your daddy to throw you a pitch, just let me know. I'll tell you what I'm throwing. You know, I mean, this series is far from over.
Beautiful. It's got to be
Like,
the NLCS, right? They're definitely the two best teams.
unless one starts to
I
stumble
hope.
down the.
I hope.
I mean, last year
Well, they'll still
playoffs.
meet up at some point.
Oh, they will. Well, you hope, right? I mean, a team
Yeah.
starts to stumble, a bunch of injuries, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
after last year's
Exactly.
playoffs, I was telling my co-host on the other podcast, Bill, I said, this is a series I want. And I think I've watched, I mean,
Yep.
I've cut from the Blue Jays to watch the Dodgers Padres because, I mean, something's happening. Something special's happening every damn game.
Yep.
And it's like, how do you know, and like you said, this is what brings baseball back. These are the series that bring baseball back,
Yep.
you know,
Hmm.
and it's been phenomenal. And I'm glad to see the things back up, right? And I know a lot of
Yep.
people saying, well, after Atlanta, once they got rid of the All-Star game in Atlanta, a lot of people say, well, this woke stuff and this culture and saying, yeah, we're not going to watch baseball. Well, guess what? People are watching baseball because
Yep.
baseball's fun to watch, you know?
Like the
So,
people that when the players were taking the knee in the NFL, they go on Facebook, oh, I'm not watching anymore. Like, fucking leave then. We don't need you here. If you're not going to watch and love sports, then leave. Don't tell us you're boycotting and you're not watching. We don't care. Just go away.
no, we don't, you know, like, don't tell us that. And, on this show, right, is anybody can sit there peacefully protest. You can do whatever you want, right? But you do it before the game, do what you need to do, and then go out, play hard, you know? Now, there would be an issue if a guy were to
Yep.
run down the field, say he's getting to the 2 yard line, and then takes a knee and gets tackled. Well, now there'll be an issue, right? Now you brought stuff into the game, right? But as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, do whatever you need to do. Let the message out. Let the message out you want to do, and do what you need to do, right? That's good respect from us, anyways. Because as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, once that puck drops, once that whistle blows, once you hear that umpire say play ball, it's game time. It's go time. Let's go and play hard. What you got to do.
Agreed.
Don't do a Leon Letts showboating. We don't like that. We will destroy you on this show if you're going to do
Leon
that.
Lett had some, man, he had some highlights in his career.
Oh, he
I
did.
don't know what's worse, the stiff arm going for the touchdown or when he slid into the snowy ball and screwed the game up for Dallas. Oh, my old man tells me that story. One of the greatest moments of his life. Leon Lett sliding into that football. I'm like, all right. Yep.
Oh man,
So,
we have to do one day. We have to do a show of some of the greatest mess ups in sports history.
yeah, sure. Yeah, come up with a list, and I can have the YouTube clip ready to go or something.
Yeah, like the game changing pick.
Yeah,
Plays that something that you made a mistake and you have losing.
not not like a referee mistake, like an actual like complete fuck up.
Player mistake.
Like
Like that guy from
like
Dallas was it Dallas who could have scored in the empty net, missed it, and then Edmonton came back and
I
scored.
lost like $400 on Proline that night. I was so pissed.
You know,
It
like the
hops it
Fail
hops
Mary.
over his stick. The fail Mary, that was referees. Man,
Well, that was
that was
referee. Can't do
next
that one.
level. Next level. I a good one is Chris Webber in NCAA when he called the timeout and he didn't have
Yep.
any timeouts. That's a good one for what you're kind of talking about. So
Yep.
let's get into the final 2 weeks of the NHL season here. We got
Man, she's
the
coming
Calgary
down.
Flames,
Woo!
the Calgary Flames, and the Canucks kind of on the trails of the Habs. Habs get a
Hey,
huge win
whoa,
tonight,
time out,
which kind
time
of
out, time out, time out.
okay. Okay.
If you're gonna talk Flames, you better go put on your Flames jersey.
Well, my Flames jersey's in my kid's room. He's sleeping, so I got the hat. We're gonna
Oh,
roll with
they're
the
all
hat, all right?
okay.
Yeah, they're sleeping. Um, yeah, like you said, we're doing a night show, so it kind of threw me off guard here. Um, Habs get a huge win tonight. It's a it's a gut punch for me and you. Flames had become 4 points back with Montreal having that game in hand, which they played tonight. So now games are even, 6 point lead. Um, and then I've understood that Montreal's season will end 8 days before the Flames. So those last 4 games, I really hope that Montreal stumbles. And basically, we're going to have a 4 game playoff between the Flames and the Canucks, and the winner gets in and gets to play Toronto. Like, I think that would just be great,
Yeah.
great TV and great intrigue. Like, knowing that whoever wins those games will be a playoff team. Like it's I I'm all for Montreal getting into. They've had a good year, but just for the pure excitement of the playoff race,
Yeah,
should
no,
be
and
cool.
that's what we need, right? I mean,
Yep.
you look at the playoff races now. I mean, the West Division, you still have you got the Blues at 52, you got the Coyotes at 47, Sharks at 45, Kings at 42, Ducks at 37. So
Yep.
you still have a
Still
bunch
close.
of
Like the Ducks are
right.
out,
You got the
but
yeah, pretty much. Central, you got
yep.
the Preds at 56, you got the Stars at 54, you got the Blackhawks at 50. Wings are done, Jackets are done. East Division, Bruins 64, Rangers 58, Flyers 51. Flyers, you can pack your bags, you're golfing already. Your guys are done. And then the North Division, Canadians 53, Flames 47, Senators 42, Canucks 41. Tell you what, man.
1 second. 1 second here. I want to just kind of show what you're talking about here. So I'm going to share this screen. Okay, so now we've probably disappeared because I had this issue today where we didn't have the video feed. But so this is kind of, Jeff, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, this is the four divisions, and this is the top four in each. The Stars and Preds. It's a huge it's a huge battle with only a few games to go. Blackhawks are in it. They're kind of like Calgary. They're 6 points back. They have a realistic shot. Red Wings and Jackets are out. We'll go to the East. I know you just said all this, but it's a little easier to follow when you have a visual aid. Um, this this one is insane. Like it, these two, like this is the series that will be amazing. Boston and Washington, Pittsburgh and New York. Like who who can pick a winner out of those games? I can't. Um, I believe the Rangers. Yeah, there's 6 points. Boston has two games in hand, so I think those will be the final four in the East Division. Don't see anybody changing that. And you got the Golden Knights, Avs, Wild, Blues. Like you said, Coyotes and Sharks have a realistic chance of catching. Blues do have two games in hand, so probably going to be the top four. And then, like we said, Calgary and Ottawa is actually ahead of Vancouver right now due to the point totals, but the games in hand, if you look there, Vancouver would have to go 0-6 to stay in that spot. Um, so it's going to be, and I assume Vancouver has to make up um, at least 4 or 5 games because of that COVID with these teams. I know they got four against Calgary at the end, and so should be interesting if Vancouver can go. Um, I don't know if they can win 5 of those 6. They have a very good chance to overtake
You got Toronto tomorrow night.
Montreal. Yeah. So we're gonna see if I get back into the video here. Stop share. There we go. All right, here we're back now.
I like it. Like it.
So yeah, we'll break down once we get a little closer. Before we'll do a show before those Calgary Vancouver games. Hopefully they matter for somebody, and it's good content.
It'll be a quick one because I'll be
I
working
think
nights,
it
but
will be.
we'll definitely
Yep,
get something going there.
that's
On
okay.
that.
We can do it around like I don't know if you're working weekends or
3
not,
or
but
4.
we can do it around your
Oh yeah.
sched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
all
hockey ain't
good.
over to hockey. Oh, and I'll tell
Yep.
you something right now.
And then once the playoffs are going to be good.
Yep. I think the playoffs, I mean, last year's playoffs were great. Told my buddy, Edmonton Oilers fan, I said, you're going to hate the Chicago Blackhawks song. He's like, they're not going to play it. We're playing Edmonton. As soon as that Chicago scored the 3 minutes in, here a couple more times, he said, I hate that song.
Is there copyright infringement if I sing the song? I know we got in trouble last time because we were playing songs that
I'd
weren't
love to talk to
ours.
you.
Yeah, I'll send them an
So,
email. Like, we're sorry.
right.
I don't think the Blue Jay guy that wrote that song really cares, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And it was a copyright from some guy who just put the words out there. Like, come on, YouTube.
It's
You're
Let's
playing
Play
Russia,
Paul. Like, who wrote that?
you know.
Yeah,
Great
but
song, man. I play that a lot of times when I'm watching the Blue Jays. Yes,
yeah,
I know I'm a nerd that way.
I've heard it a few times when I'm up up north hanging out with my buddy here. So hopefully
Which
when
we're gonna do a live
this
show.
pandemic ends, we can do a live podcast together
Yep. Just like me and Bill, we're gonna do a
from my
live
place or
podcast
yours.
together. Yeah, we might do
Yeah,
one
I'd
of
love
mine.
to. Yeah, I'd love to be a guest on that show again, the JC and Bill Sportscast. It's one guy from Canada, one guy from the US. Different opinions. It's a great podcast. Give it a listen. We can put the link for that podcast in the comments section on this video. And I know Bill has plugged our show on his wrestling podcast before, so that'd be great if you could get some more listeners that way too.
Which brings me back to something that pisses me off.
You the rant.
Like
It's like Peter
a
Griffin. It
couple
grinds my
days
gears.
ago, yeah, but this is the Hawk rant. I'll tell you the Hawk rant is coming. The Hawk rant's coming because tonight the Hawk rant is coming right now because this is the Hawk rant.
Cue the Hawk rant,
Now,
everyone.
couple weeks ago, we saw Edler hit Hyman with the knee, and which was got spent for 2 games. Saw that one, maybe it was fatigue, maybe it was, COVID, everything else. He made a move. Edler felt bad. You could tell he felt bad. He's not a dirty player. So last night, watching the Leafs game, Simmonds, the tough guy from Toronto, decides he's going to fight Edler. Edler doesn't fight. Are you kidding me? You're going to drop the gloves of a guy who doesn't fight, who apologized to the guy, who said sorry to the guy, who felt bad for hitting the guy like that, making a move, right? What are you supposed to do when you haven't played for 2 weeks? Of course something bad's going to happen. But Simmonds, the tough guy, comes flying in. You know what, Simmonds? I'd take a round out of you, my friend, right now, because you know what? I'll step up for Edler. I'll step up for the Vancouver Canucks for that stuff. I'll step up there. You want to come after me? I'd come after you, my friend. We'll go at it one-on-one, any ring, anytime you want, anywhere you want to be at. Hell, man, we'll throw for charity. We'll go knuckle for knuckle, punch for punch. I guarantee you one thing, man. Edler didn't want to drop the gloves. He didn't know how to drop the gloves, but he did. He went after you. We all want to say about this fucking code. Oops, sorry about swearing. My bad. But you want to say something?
Not for kids.
That
We're
was
good.
BS on your last night. We're coming at him. And I'll say one thing right now. I won't back up that. I can drop knuckles. I can throw with the best of them. Simmonds, that was BS on your part. And next year, when the Canucks get their tough guy coming, you better drop the glove. Doesn't matter what team you're playing for, because what you did last night was an embarrassment to the hockey league. Rant out.
Oh man, yeah. I hear you. They do have that code in hockey when you injure somebody, you fight, but it's usually the fighters that do it. So I kind of agree with you. It wasn't intent to injure. I think it had more with he got beat on the play and he hadn't played hockey in about a month. So I don't see any intent there by Edler. So him apologizing should have
And
probably been enough
good
in
for,
that situation. So
good for
nice
Edler.
rant though.
Edler
I
dropped the
enjoyed it.
gloves right away. He didn't know how to drop the gloves.
Yep.
No, thank you.
That's what
And
you do.
Heather, good for Heather. He dropped the glove
Yep.
because he knew what he had to do. But come on, man.
Yep. It's part
If
of the
I'm
code,
Simmonds,
even if
he dropped
it's just
gloves. You're looking
the
at
way
it
it
going
is.
like, you punch him once or twice, and you know what? We're done. That's a 5. But he kept going at it. Like, come on,
Yep.
man. You think a guy like Ty Domi or Bob Probert, bless his heart, or Crowder, all those boys would have sat there? Simmonds,
No.
you ain't that tough. Like, give me a break, man. Dean Ojek would have rocked your world back in the day. Stu Grimson, like Hunter, man. Tim Hunter
Yep.
would have busted your nose off. And they knew they didn't want this. Yeah, there's like it just, and seeing that I watched it, I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? Good on Eller. Eller knew he had to go fight somebody, but you're going to fight the tough guy. Man, you know what? It would have been better off if you would have fought Riley or Thornton or Spencer or whoever. Man, they could have got a training clown punched with the Maple Leafs jersey on there. He could have fought him. Eller
Just
doesn't fight
beat up the bear.
so bad.
Carlton the bear,
I mean, he
which is the
felt
most
bad.
ridiculous mascot ever.
Could
But
have.
it's
I
what
mean,
it is.
you even reached out today. You even reached out and apologized. I mean, at least Hyman could say, you know what? We're good on this. It's settled. It's done.
Yep.
Right? It's sports. Crap happens, right?
That's what it
It's
is,
not
man.
10. If that was Matt Cook,
Injuries
I
happen.
guarantee if that was Matt Cook, yep. If that was Matt Cook, we would have all been happy, right? Take that beating because you've done that crap
Yep.
before in your life. Taylor hasn't. And watching it was just, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point? Oh, I was mad. So there you go, Simmonds. There's my challenge. I'll come at you, knuckle to knuckle.
Well, we might have to like edit that last Hawk rant and put it in a video and tweet it out to Simmonds. Get this going. I would. We'll like simulcast that fight. Wayne Simmonds
What?
versus the Hawk on pay-per-view.
I mean, the
We'll
guy doesn't
take
know how to drop the
donations
gloves,
and then we'll
right?
give you
You
a
want to hurt him?
password so you can watch it. That's what we'll do.
You know,
We'll take donations, and if you donate to the food bank, then we'll give you the password to
food
join
bank, Children's Hospital,
the food
like,
bank brawl 22.
oh yeah.
I
Like, I
like it.
mean, there is a code though, right? There is a code. There's a code in every sport.
Yeah.
And if
Hmm.
you're being a jackass, sometimes you need to get beat on. But I mean, as soon as the guy didn't know, drop the gloves, he wanted to drop the gloves. If I'm Sims, like, you know what? I'll give you one shot and that's it. Done. What happened in the old days? Guys knew who guys were fight. Guys knew who guys didn't fight.
Yeah. Well,
Come on.
you see the same thing with Lucic in Calgary all the time. You see, like when we're winning a game by a couple goals, there'll always be some fool that'll challenge him, and Lucic usually gives him two or three chances to change his mind. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Okay. Then he'll win the fight. He lets the guy go down nice. Usually shakes his hand afterwards. So,
Exactly. Well, and that's the way it should be. But I mean, yeah, someone got hurt, and
yep.
you never want to see some guy get hurt ever, right? That was a nasty play. Eller got his 2-game suspension. Should have been dealt with.
Yep.
Now what? Prove yourself again on the ice because of it. We all went through the Bertuzzi hit. We all saw that,
Hmm.
especially on my end of it. When I was listening on the radio when it happened, and it was, I mean, the consequences of it. Now you're going after him. I mean, the NHL should probably be looking at this, going, you know what? This was planned. I mean, he took 2 hard cross checks, but again, kudos on Edler for it. I think it was the last time he was suspended before that. I mean, I know he was suspended when he ran over Mike Smith, and Mike Smith did the old classic Oscar dive.
Yeah.
But that was 2013. So, look at the players. That was Kachuk. And yeah, maybe fine. But Kachuk can fight, right? Guys who can't fight, who do stuff like
Yep.
it, just, you know. a black eye on the sport on something like that.
Yeah.
It's going all over, go all the
Well,
internet saying, guy can't fight and stuff. Well, that's the way it is. Some guys can't fight. Hell, hockey players can't fight, and good on them, you know. And I'm hoping tomorrow night some tough guy from Vancouver, maybe McEwen, maybe JT Miller, maybe some guy goes up to Simmonds and says, you know what, you embarrass our guy, now let's go, drop the gloves.
man, it might be
Could
turning into
happen.
a little rivalry here. I hope
Well, I think
for
the whole North
Vancouver's state that you're
rivalry.
more worried about the game and not worried about getting even, because you guys, every game you got to get 2 points. So I wouldn't be concerned on. You got to put that Edler thing in the rearview mirror. Focus on winning
Yep,
hockey games.
boy do.
But
But I think you still have one guy go after Simmonds.
sure, all
This guy
good,
got
brother.
this year, 10 assists. That's it. Maybe,
I don't know.
sorry, maybe I
I haven't
assist.
followed.
Maybe got.
I haven't followed Simmonds too much.
It was disgusting. As far as I'm concerned, I know Biesca was going to say something here tonight about it too, about the code. And I'll watch that
Yeah,
after. And I mean, I love Biesca. I love him on Hockey Night in Canada. Stuff like that. I guarantee you Biesca would be the first guy in there going after Simmonds,
probably.
saying you can't touch a guy like that. So
Let's take a
like I
look
said,
here. 7 goals and 2 assists for the great Wayne Simmonds. We'll show
well,
here.
there you go.
There you
9
go.
points.
In 32 games. I don't think he's played over 250 goals in his career and 250 assists. Oh, he's about 1 point every 2 games kind of player. Is what he is. Third liner.
No, and I like Simmonds. I mean, you know, hard playing Canadian,
Yep.
but come on, man. It just, I know there's been a lot of flack over it. I was going to bring it up.
I'm raising my hand.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm just playing with those buttons here now. Lower hand. I'm lowering my hand.
I'll go knuckles to knuckles to.
That's how you ask questions. All right. Cool. Well, anything else you want to bring up before we close it off tonight?
Through our Flyby Friday. For everybody out there, if you want to be a guest on our show, let us know. We love different opinions from different fan bases, whether you're a Giants fan, Cowboys fan, Dolphins fan. You want on the show, let us know. Send us a message. We'll put you on as a guest. We love to watch. We love to listen to different aspects of other teams, hearing everything what's going on.
Yep.
Helps everybody. Maybe a little bit of fantasy. We always like that too. But and that's all I got.
I'd like to have it doesn't have to be even people we know that well. Like, you want to be on the show, you want to be, like to interview any, like, somebody from every team if we could, and get their viewpoint on their team and success they've had in the past, and what they expect future, what you want to do with that team, if you want to blow it up, if you want to trade all your draft picks for some superstar. All depends on your viewpoint. So yeah, reach out to us on Facebook. Not gonna give my number out on YouTube, but you can find us on Facebook and send us a message there if you have any interest. Definitely be in touch, and be nice to do. We got about 74 members in our Facebook group that would like a lot more contribution from you guys. If you're in the group, it'd be awesome if you just like and comment and get interactive. Put post stuff on our page. We'll comment. If we don't like it, we'll let you know. But for the most part, most stuff is allowed. Sports, we want sports and different viewpoints. So please, we just got to get
Nothing.
more people talking and stuff on here.
Liking it. Liking it. Join a
All
group.
right, brother.
Also, me and the JC and the Bill show. We're here all the time. Download some sports. Love it.
Yep, I can attest to that. I've been a guest on the show. It's a great podcast of you from two sides of the border. So, yeah, definitely get in on that. And if you're a wrestling fan, the wrestling show with Bill is really good too. So give that a listen too. All right, I'd like to say thanks for everybody that watched and shared and liked and commented on this. We also got the YouTube channel, DK and Hawk on YouTube. So like and subscribe and get all the videos that I do, and the Hawk does with the podcast. You'll get everything. So looking forward to more subscribers. And
Have some fun.
all right, everyone.